Welcome back. Welcome back to Buy or Invest. This time we are going over the Weiss Schwarz release for Rent a Girlfriend. What this series is me going through my thought process on whether I just collect the stuff, so merely buy, or go one step further and invest in the actual set, given all the different things that I see with it. What this release is going to have this time around is a booster box. And note that the booster box is the flat version. We are not getting those tall ones anymore. We are transitioning to what the Japanese version has as an actual configuration of the box. We also do have a trial deck to go with this as well. With the changes to the booster packs, I've talked about it before. I'll link that video up above. And we are merely just going from the English version to Japanese version. I know up here on the actual picture it says one additional card of any rarity will be included in every pack. There could be up to 2 rare cards in a pack, and more, you have to read that part. There could be up to. That doesn't say that there's going to be, a ton of cards, special cards, that they're all going to be random or anything like that. So down below, with this little star here, it says this card can be any common, uncommon, climax, rare, double rare, or parallel card. So really, we are getting one extra card per pack. We're going from 20 packs in a box down to 16, and 16 boxes to 18 boxes for an actual case. Overall, what this actually means is you're getting more cards per case. And you can see that 2560, 2592. That makes sense because you do have 2 more boxes per case. But when you actually take a look at the actual individual box, it's 160 down to 144. But you do end up with more rares in this scenario. The one thing that I saw was people went on Reddit, or there was YouTubers that said that commons wasn't a thing in Rent a Girlfriend. Like, so there couldn't be 5 right here. It says this card can be any common. They thought that you know that was something that changed for English. That was not actually the case. To prove this point, I have a video from Mushu out here when he was opening his Japanese Rent a Girlfriend. So we're just going to go through this exercise so just everybody is clear on what is actually inside of this box.
Okay. Next.
Or potentially, anyways. So there is
So
common
something in the
1,
middle.
2, 3, 4,
We're
5.
gonna go
There's
over
the
it
second
one by
one, third one,
Cause you're gonna see. Cause we're kind of excited.
fourth one,
Oh my goodness, that's.
and fifth one.
We'll do that.
And the reason I show this is just because I want everybody to know that we are under the same format as the Japanese version. There is no change. Reddit was out of date. I'm not even going to say Reddit was incorrect. That's not fair for the people that run Reddit, because who else is out there updating this all the time and actually like living and dying by the count that's out there. Right? So just for everybody's information, this is exactly the same. Commons did actually exist in that extra slot there for Rent a Girlfriend, and there's no difference. So you're not going to have a possibility like the drop rate on the stuff, I believe, anyways, from what I saw, was 1 SSP for Rent a Girlfriend and 2 SPs per case. So it's not because I say this, because if you think that this slot is going to give you like potentially 6 SPs in a case, it's not going to do that at all. I just want to be very clear on that one. We are under no difference. It's a different box, different configuration, but we're not just going to magically get more SPs. We're not getting screwed over by having an extra common. That's how it was, and that's how it will be going forward. Okay? All right. Next thing I'll take a look at is the anime following. The anime following, I always just make sure like who's actually watching this. Is this popular enough when I go through my investments? Because this, when we think about Weiss Schwarz, this is definitely a long-term kind of deal. Like, we're playing a long-term game, not a short-term game. There's too many people in this when it comes to investing at this point. So you have to look at the long term. Does this have sustainability? And this is from my anime list. 439,000 users actually rated this. Ranked 2425, popularity 189, so pretty high up there. And overall, 733,000 people following. They actually were popular enough that there was an art exhibit, I believe, in 2020. So here you go, 2019 to 2020. Obviously, that probably got nixed at some point with the coronavirus. I'm just assuming I didn't look it up afterwards, but it actually is a really cool looking art exhibit. I would have checked it out, but it's in Japan. So obviously not going to do that. And each girl has one. You can see that. So we have Mami over here with her staring at her stuff. We got Sumi back there. Pretty cool. I mean, I think it's one of those ones where I know they say living in Japan isn't like everything you dreamt it to be, but it does have its finer points. And looking at this, I think it would have been really awesome to go visit an art exhibit of Rent a Girlfriend. It beats looking at artwork that I have no clue what it actually is. So okay, next one is we got the manga opening here. We have manga ongoing. Sorry, we got manga ongoing. The latest chapter made a lot of people mad. If you don't want to read this and you want to find out what happens, like what's going on, just go to the Reddit. There's a lot of angry people here. Rent a Girlfriend is just to tell you about the actual storyline here. There is, let's say, I feel like it's controversial in a way, because I guess controversial isn't the right word to use here. People have a hard time watching this show. They love the girls. The girls are what does it. There's a guy. So let me start from the beginning. There is a guy who dates a girl, and the girl would be this girl, Mami. Mami breaks his heart. I think it was his first girlfriend. He was really, really clingy, and because of that, she broke up with him. Like she is kind of a person that didn't want him, even though he lived and died for her. Over that month that they dated, he eventually got cut off to make sure that he is doing okay to mend his heart. He rents a girlfriend. Basically, you buy some time with a lady. She takes you out. In this case, it would be Chizuru here, and she takes him out, and in that way, it helps heal broken hearts, or depending on the person. Like in this case, that's what it was used for. Other cases, it's like I guess if you're lonely or whatever. And that's basically the whole show. Like you have the the main character trying to fix his pain, I guess you would say, and then he just keeps dating, and then he dates these other girls as well. And with that, that's where he was in life. Like he just, I think it's hard because this mirrors some people's actual love life in that way. And I'm not disrespecting anybody. Everybody, when you date a person for the first time and then get your ultimately your heart broken or you're breaking the hearts or whatever, that's some people have that same reaction. And I know when people watch that, this main character then kind of pisses them off or it reminds them of themselves or whatever, like whatever emotion you have. You may know somebody like this, it may be you. So there's a lot of difficulty, I think, watching the show. And that's what I said about Kaguya before, where Kaguya, it could have reminded people of their experience when they were younger. Overall, I think the show is fine. The concept to me is okay. Because I don't know. I mean, if you're lonely, yeah, I'm cool with it. If you want to rent a person, you don't actually do anything weird or anything like that, then I think that's okay. Like some people might need that in their life. Not judging you. If you need it, great. I mean, if you need to talk to somebody, you can always talk to me. You don't have to pay for my time. So anyways, this is the main character. He is definitely in a place in his life where he's just trying to feel out like what's going on. He's very confused. And that's what happened in the manga. Like where they are in the manga, it really made people angry because it felt like this guy hasn't grown after so many chapters that they're on. This guy is just not changing. And luckily for most people, he's only on 2 cards. So if you hate this guy, uh, plus side for you there. Okay, as talked about before, the SSP. There's one per case. This is our lovely SSPs. We'll go over pricing later, but No, they look awesome. As a person that watched this show, I mean, I would definitely love to have these cards. They look really cool. I know people, again, do not like Mami, but look at the signature. I love when you see the little rabbit going on here. I just do. It's nice and fun. You know, like out of all the signatures, I do like having the little rabbit with Chizuru here. Nice signature as well. Overall, everybody's got some cool signatures. I think Ruka is probably like the worst, but I'm not judging. I'm not judging people's signatures. You know, like I think they're all really, really neat, and it's cool. And as you can see here, the nice part about these signatures, I don't know if it's just the foiling or whatever. I haven't held it yet or seen it or anything like that. But at the very least, the mock-up here that we got going on, it's really cool looking. Right, you got the different colors going on, but it's probably just the foil. SP, so we got 2 per case, and actually, you know what? Is that really? I wonder if it really is like that. Anyways, because these are all solid gold right here. We'll see. We'll find out. 2 SPs per case, and what we have here are just some pretty nice cards. Different, you know, like the same colored backgrounds compared to this one where they all have their own unique coloring to them. You know, like that focuses. It's actually nice. And color wise, see, we got red, blue, Ruka, yellow, Mami. So that works out actually. And with these SPs, overall okay. I mean, you're gonna see a lot of them, and they're going to be cheap because out of all these cases that will be eventually opened, you're gonna get 2 per case. Next thing we have is this TDSP. Inside of the trial deck is a potential of getting this SP, and normally, again, a case of SPs is 48 trial decks. Normally, you will find 2 SPs. I say normally, they change it on me, don't blame me, but normally you get 2 SPs inside of there. And just to note, this one is actually very useful. So if you're going to play Rent a Girlfriend, you will want to pick up a trial deck. This is just the sign card version. There is the cards inside of the trial deck. You will be getting 2 of these. So overall, the trial deck is worth it to buy if you're going to want to play this. If you don't want to play this, if you just want to buy singles, you can just do that too. But overall, there's going to be a reason why people buy this thing. There's going to be people opening a few of these things in an attempt to actually get this. So if you didn't want the whole trial deck, more than likely you'll be able to buy the singles of this card. Just note that this is a pretty useful card. I know before I've heard Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz saying about buying this up. If you haven't checked it out, check out their set review on this. It's very useful. But if you potentially run into a data live situation where people will be buying up the singles for this particular card, you can also see that reflected. It's not the same card in the more Phonica one where people were buying up the trial decks. There's an extreme difference though. This set isn't the greatest thing to have, right? It's not like meta breaking, meta defining, something like that. It's not up there where Data Live was. So with the amount that are, I imagine, that are going to be opened trying to get this SP and the usefulness of that, well, the overall set meta, I can't imagine we're going to hit a Data Live thing. Yeah, sure, people are definitely going to buy the card, but at the same time, it's not going to be like Data Live where it was up to I think currently it's 14, but it was up to like 20 something, and the trial deck on Data Live is like 80 some dollars, something like that, just because of the power level of this actual set. And I do disclaimer that because, right, any set can win a game on any given day, but it's about consistency. And does Rent a Girlfriend have enough to consistently win against, let's say, Slime, Mishoku coming out, Data Live, Kaguya? Did I say Kaguya? So it's one of those ones where does it consistently beat all of those? Probably not. And that's why it's not going to have like a run on this trial deck card as it did on the other one. And you know, again, supply won't be an issue because I imagine in my heart of hearts that people are going to want this card because it is a cool looking card. Definitely worth. People are going to attempt for it. All right, let's go say that. All right, next we got. I always take a look at the voice actresses that go with this one, and what we got here are just some of my favorites. We got Sora as Chizuru, And we have her as Aqua. I mean, who doesn't love Aqua? Aqua's the best, and I love Gakil, and she played her. So let me just play a clip here for you.
虫大丈夫ですか？いや大丈夫じゃないですし、やめてください、バカ。
That was labeled Aqua in real life. Come on. That was labeled Aqua in real life. She was afraid of a bug and reacted as she did, which resembled Aqua slightly in a way. So, anyways, we got Now here as Ruka, and well, I didn't realize this. I didn't know, but she played Sasuke on Naruto, and we also have Yui from Origaru, and I love that show. I love Yui, so I had to do it. I was just trying to look for voice actresses kind of clips, but I went with Yui. Sorry. And next we got Riri. We got Riri. She's playing Sumi on this one. Sumi didn't show up a whole lot, but the moments that she did, it was definitely adorable and cute. And the standout characters for me, she played Megumin and Konosuba, and of course Amelia from ReZero.
私にプレゼント。え？
まさかの？ありがとうございます。おめでとうございます。
私に
Last but not least, we got Aoi, and she played Mami, the person that everybody hates. I honestly don't have any sort of issues with her. Yeah, it sucks what she did in the show, but that's what makes the show. And I get it. You could point hatred at her because she definitely is not the very likable person there. And I had to use this picture. She's wearing the stars in the bars. Got to go with that. And she played Madoka, and she played Yuki. I love Yuki from Sword Art Online. I had to use this picture. She's throwing up the peace sign. We got to go with that. Or victory, whichever one. But I think it was victory on that case. Going with that.
あおちゃん普通にその何に今支えてもらっているか好きなものでもいいし。うん。
課金？
でもね課金に関して言うと健翔君の言ったお金とは違うよね。だって払うことで満たされる。
なんか一生懸命働いてお金を稼いでも使う時間がないから課金のボタンを押す時が最高に自分が働いたっていう気持ちになる瞬間なんです。
なるほど。あおちゃん普通
I had to throw that one in there because I feel like people that played the Madoka mobile game kind of felt that way. But the other side of it is, we're all playing games or opening cards. I think we all have that same feeling that, you work and you want to play, and it's okay to do so. So I'm definitely cool with that. It's nice to see she said something like that. All right, you've seen the slide already before. You've seen this picture, anime following. Why I brought this up here was just to remind you. So rank 2425, popularity 189, members 733. It's more because I want to do this. We are going to compare. We are comparing Rent a Girlfriend to Quince. And the reason why I'm doing that is they're similar. They're not the same, but they're similar, right? We have popularity 196, members 723. And I want to do this because when you think about these shows, like just in a nutshell, not talking about power levels or anything with Weiss Schwarz, let's just think about the anime. When we think about the anime, you are left with here's 5 girls and here's 4 girls, right? Like the love of the show and the following and all of that good stuff. That's one of the components that I use for investing. So you have to mirror something that's similar. And if we're going to say Rent a Girlfriend is about the girls, then I want to find another anime that has just the girls, right? Like we have a dude down there, but we got Futaro, but at the same time, is he really necessary inside of Weiss Schwarz? And not really. Like I didn't count how many cards he had. Kazuya. I can't say his name right now, apparently, but he's only on. I don't know how I could say his name, but right now he's only on 2 cards. Futaro, he was on at least. He was definitely more than 2 cards. I remember because he had the Yotsuba ribbon one, and then he was on he was definitely on a climax with Itsuki, and then he was with Miku. So he was on a few of them. He was on that climax with Miku. So he's on 3. He was a more likable character than our friend from Rent a Girlfriend that I can't say his name. Anyways, going back to this. So why I did this is I wanted to compare Yuyute, right? So we have 5 girls, 4 girls, same kind of thing. SSPs, which these are not. Actually, yeah, they are SSPs. I don't know. I got confused for a second. I'm like, no, these are the SSPs because it's SSP. All right, so we have SSPs versus SSPs, and as you can see here, there are definitely some more stronger feelings when it comes to Chizuru. Right, Chizuru down here, 49,800 yen versus the highest one, which would be Miku at 24,800. And if you're wondering, I did the totals on these. Rent a Girlfriend's totals when it comes to the actual girls themselves. Like I literally added these here. 4, added these 4, and added these 5 together. What you end up with is Rent a Girlfriend's SSPs are higher than the ones from Quintessential Quintuplets. Again, what does that really tell you? I don't know. Like maybe people like this more. Maybe people want to collect the girls more. Yeah, I mean that could be it. Like so, take what I'm doing here and make a judgment call yourself. For me, I basically equate them out to be equal just because I think what happened, and I'm seeing that in English, right, is some people like a certain girl, some people don't. How many supply was there on Quintessential Quintuplets? Quintessential Quintuplets did get hit with a reprint for the JP version. When it came to Rent a Girlfriend, I don't believe it did. If it did, then someone correct me. I don't know for sure if Rent a Girlfriend caught a reprint, so that could be another part of it as well. I know that the Quintessential Quintuplets were pretty high up there when it came to actual value. And also keep in mind that there is a volume 2 for Quintessential Quintuplets. When it comes to Rent a Girlfriend, there is a season 2 of the anime coming. It actually hasn't come out yet. So we don't know if the Weiss Schwarz will make a second version of this when that comes out. And even then, for me personally, as long as the anime doesn't stink and piss off a ton of people, I would imagine that there would be a volume 2. At the same time, it might be a while just because, it just came. I mean, you're thinking about when this would come out, anime wise and all that, end of the year to into next year. So it'll be a while before we see that. And knowing that this set isn't strong, we don't know what that's going to look like. So it's going to be, I don't want to say the Wild West, but just a big question mark on what you want to do there. But overall, when you think about reprint on Quints, we got Rent a Girlfriend, high prices. Overall, this is, when you think about collecting a set for just girls, this is a pretty good one, right? Like when you compare it up against the Quints like this. Okay, next we have is the SPs. Now, remember, keep in mind, SPs on the left for Quints does not actually have any signatures on it. You can see that, right? They got their name stamped on those suckers, where bottom right, we got Rent a Girlfriend. They do have signatures, and price-wise, comparatively, pretty decent. You're right here, Nina over here, 99.80. There are reasons for that being at 99.80, but overall, you could see again where foils actually hurt the cards. Supply of it hurts the cards because again, SPs of Rent a Girlfriend are 2 per case. Quints definitely had a bit of them as well, and for as many that got opened up, prices are pretty okay. So take SPs for what they are. I think they're definitely going to do better on Rent a Girlfriend. It's not going to be as high supply as I would imagine Quince was, how many were open. But at the same time, they actually do have signatures, and they're really nice looking cards. And they're definitely something that I would love to have. With the quintessential quintuplets back on the JP release, we had what, 5 individual trial decks. We know with the English release we had the quintessential set that guaranteed one. So there was a lot higher supply when it came to the quintessential quintuplets in the English version, just because you were guaranteed it. Funny enough, though, just because it did the market update, you see Ichika over there on the left, 24,800, 4 left. All the other girls are sold out. She was definitely the strongest card from one of the strongest cards, I would say, from the trial deck. That's why she's definitely up there, which is funny in a way because it just proves the fact of like certain things. Like when you look at the market update, when you look at the English SPs for the trial decks, Miku was the highest. Each gun is, I thought it was like 170, 180, something like that. Anyways, 5 trial decks, 5 sign cards. We have Rent a Girlfriend Chizuru in it, 24,800. And remember what I said before, like this is definitely a usable card if you want a max rarity. People will be looking for this. It's going to be a decent, expensive card. Where it lands, I don't know. I again have just this feeling that people are going to go nuts on the trial deck. So is this the right comparison, right? Like I've been trying to compare, quintessential quintuplets to Rent a Girlfriend, and I don't believe so. This isn't the right compare. Like if you want to compare, let's say Ichika and Chizuru, that definitely probably is a better comparison than comparing all 5. Another comparison you can make here, I know, sorry, it's a little grainy from Yuyute's picture, but another comparison that you can make is Elizabeth from 7 Deadly Sins. The reason I did this was because inside of the 7 Deadly Sins, there was only one SP, only one trial deck, first off, and one SP. With what happened there, I mean, this Elizabeth isn't like as crazy as the Chizuru when it comes to play, but at the same time, comparison-wise, girl, trial deck, I think this is a pretty good one because this is what I think is going to actually happen, right? There's going to be a ton of people opening these trial decks to try to get Chizuru. That's what happened with Elizabeth. It's going to definitely knock down the price of the trial decks. This is what I keep saying over and over again. You've heard me say that. I apologize over and over again, but this is definitely what's going to happen. I feel like this trial deck is definitely going to go down. The trial deck display definitely going down. Trying to get this card. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing or anything like that. It's just what I think is going to happen. Just so you know, I want to show you something. Why I always say this is a long-term thing. I know I talk about short-term, long-term, but I just want everybody to see this because this picture right here, this was done on the Ruby Buy and Invest, which was about a month and a half ago. As you can see, I'm going to flip back and forth. Elizabeth, 250, there was 5 listings. 4 listings now, 300. These prices were as of January 31st. Trial deck, $12.99 as of yesterday night, 15 listings. And we have back a month and a half ago, 21 listings, $9.25. Trial deck display, $58.70, and now it's $86.98. So over the long term, these things will definitely get bought out because some of these prices it's just ridiculous, right? Like the 7 Deadly Sins trial deck displays, really ridiculous, really low down there. But it makes sense because that thing was released and so many people bought it, and now people are just trying to get rid of it. So people are definitely value buying on this stuff. So if you buy into Weiss, just know that you're not going to be in this for the short term. You're going to be in it for the long term. If you want to rip open cards and all that stuff and sell it, fine, be that way. But if you're thinking about sealed and all this other stuff, having cards over the long term, as you can see, singles do go up eventually. The collectible singles go up, the sealed go up. You just have to be very patient on it. Okay. Overall, after all of that, hopefully what you got out of it is anime. It's pretty strong. People like it. You can see with the prices on Yuyute. You can see the art exhibit. People are still into the manga, even though it pisses them off because they've been going on this for a really long time. You know, it's value, it's time invested in it. They're going to just keep on going with it, and you have four lovely girls to choose from. Same idea with the quints, right? You had five. Even though you may hate one, you might actually like one, have strong feelings towards one, and you could see that reflected in the price. And meta strength, you are not winning tournaments with this thing. Let me say again. Any deck can possibly win a tournament with it. Consistently not going to happen. You will be beat out by other ones, and that's what's holding this down. Where Quince had a volume 2 that strengthened that overall set, with Rent a Girlfriend, you will not see any sort of, let's say, support for potentially months to never, right? Like to infinity. Like we may never see a set 2 that comes out with that. And because of that, I'm going to rate it at 3. If it does get a new set, it can possibly make it a lot stronger, but we don't know that. You're just going to be guessing. And that's where the whole long term comes in, right? Like if a volume 2 comes out and it's strong, it's good to have. I don't imagine we see a reprint on it. And the way they do reprints, it almost feels like they do it when the new set comes out. So if a reprint is necessary at that time, or there's key cards that are needed, they may just throw that in the volume 2 actual box as a promo, as they've been doing. So the nice part about this set, it's got a good TD card. It could just be trashed, like Seven Deadly Sins, and nobody wants this thing. Nobody in the short term wants this thing just because of how much it is, how many are out there. But with this one, there is an actual good TD card, trial deck card inside of it, which does help. The SP definitely helps it out a lot, but that just means there's going to be a ton of supply. So the negatives to this, not the strongest set. By all means, definitely not the strongest set. Only one trial deck SP. I've always said that was a negative. I like when there is 2 SPs inside the trial deck because that halves the amount of supply. That's what made Weiss such a good overall investment, right? The supply. Even though you want people to have cards at the same time, like playable cards, you don't want there to be a flood of collectible cards like we saw with Data Live with the signed cards, right? You don't need a million of them because that just knocks down the price. Over time, it'll go back up. Just check out Data Live if you don't believe me. But they will go up over time. And then lastly, other strong sets coming out, so beware of budgeting. This is where I hope people understand what I've been saying about Rent a Girlfriend over the past couple months. I know this is formally the Buy or Invest video, but I've been talking about Rent a Girlfriend for a while now. And what this actually means is you have Rent a Girlfriend that people are going to buy. It will definitely sell out. So don't get me wrong on this. This set is definitely going to sell out. These cards are going to be worth a decent amount of money. The set's not the strongest, but then you look at the schedule coming out. You have Mushoku Tensei, strong set. Hollow Live, strong set. And people love the anime for Mushoku. You have people that love the actual books. You have Hollow Live, which is just a monster. Like there's a million cards out there that go with that, and you have a ton of people that really love those what do you call them? Those people. They're not the people. I don't know, I am blanking out on here. But you have VTubers. That is. You have people that love these VTubers. So I stress the importance of budgeting because if let's just say this hypothetically, you have $1,000. And with that $1,000, you take a look at what's coming. You have Rent a Girlfriend, Mushoku Tensei, Hollow Live, Tokyo Revengers, Attack on Titan, Fate, Camelot. How are you going to chop up that $1,000? So even though Rent a Girlfriend is a really good set when it comes to the girls, do you want to put all 1,000 into Rent a Girlfriend, or do you want to spread it out over the other ones? What is the weight, the percentage that you want to put in it? And that's my drawback with Rent a Girlfriend, because when you looked at Data Live, when I look at Data Live, right, that thing was nuts. You have a super strong set with a huge anime following. Quintessential quintuplets. Knowing that Volume 2 potentially could come out in English and how strong it is, that was a good choice for me. Like, as in, I love the show, and I know it's strong enough in the future. With Rent a Girlfriend, we don't have any guarantees of a set 2 coming. What we have is we're banking on these girls themselves. And even though it will definitely do well in the future, and let's go with Magic the Gathering. Anybody that knows Magic the Gathering, you know that Theros was not a good set. There were some sets that came out that, even though all the sealed product goes up, does the sealed product go up as fast? Or even Pokemon, let's say like Battle Styles. Is that going to go up as fast as a Vivid Voltage or Evolving Sky, something like that? Is that the same? And the answer is no, right? Like, it's not going to be that same kind of evolution and growth, like price-wise. And that's my point I'm making with Rent a Girlfriend. This thing's gonna do good. If you have the money long term, it'll do good. Don't get me wrong on that. The majority of these sets will do really good, but at the same time, it's like, do you have the money to devote to this and wait for it to sit on the long term, or do you want to invest it in something else? That's something that you have to consider. Okay. Overall, set good for the very reasons. That's the negatives that go with it. Playset's $250 without a trial deck. If you want the trial deck, playset $275. I would just tell you to buy the trial deck, but don't listen to me, because if you buy that at $12.50, more than likely it might have been mapped out and dead. But if you're buying playsets, you honestly probably don't care about. You probably don't honestly care about getting shiny cards, because with the playsets, you're not really getting that. You're just buying it for value. So if it pulls that 7 Deadly Sins trial deck thing, you may be able to pick it up for less. And if someone doesn't like try to map them out, you may get lucky and pull the SP for that. So that's okay. And lastly, there will be singles available for sure. People are going to be opening this thing because they are looking for the girl, keeping the girl, or selling the girl. That sounds wrong saying it that way, but truly that's what's going to happen. It is going to be 100% reality. It's a good set. People love the girls, no matter what. You may hate Mami, you might like Mami. I was about to say you may hate Chizuru. I know people. I feel like Sumi at the very least doesn't get a lot of hate just because she doesn't say all that much, and she's cute and adorable. So overall, it's a good set, but just be mindful about what's coming out. I know I see Rent a Girlfriend booster boxes are actually selling out, but there are still people that have them. There are people still selling playsets of them. And as we've seen from the last couple sets, that you'll see booster boxes appear for 60, even below 60. We'll see if that holds true. I believe it will this time as well, but we will see. Who knows? On TCG Player. So be sure to check that out. Do not buy on TCG Player at $80 some as people have been doing. That is insane. I don't know why people still continue to do that. I say that, but there's probably nobody actually buying it for $80 that actually watches me. I think I beat into your head so many times now that you shouldn't be doing that. So don't do that. Anyways, that is everything. I hope you enjoyed that. It was a bit there. So I will see you later. As always, have fun, be happy, and don't spend anything outside of your budget. Have a good day, everybody.